because it really tried not to let me go live. I was literally about to make you a video and then everything started working. No, 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 no. No. It literally tried not to go live. I kid you not. Mm. I was trying to post your shit for like 10 minutes straight, and now it's publishing everything. It's the weirdest thing on God that's ever happened. But here's your news. Here's the second part. It didn't wanna. It didn't wanna post. Here's the second part. It didn't wanna post. Interesting. Patreon. Are we feeding into the devil's word? Oh my god. Oi, oi. That was kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I don't know what I would have done if that was the situation. Hi, pretty Bartley. Oh my god, look at my pretty sister in the comment section. Hi, everybody. If you're new on this live, watch the previous live, the Patreon live for the first part. This is actually the second part. It just for some reason wasn't posting, and then I found out why it wasn't posting. I'm also going to be recording gardening today, so I've got my what's this called? I picked up my tripod, so we've got some wet coming today. I'm excited. But let's go over part 2, shall we? Yes, ma'am. Alright, so part 2 of your news consists of this information. Put a yes or no in the comment section if you are aware after Libya flooded, unexploded weapons posed new risk. Weaponry washed away in the recent flooding in Libya could exacerbate. Nope. I don't know why they throw these big ass words out here. The already devastating crisis in the country. Basically what it's saying, it can make it worse. It can make it worse. I'm about to download that damn app. So for anybody who's unaware, 10,000 people are missing currently in Libya. There have been extreme floodings that have taken place for the last 3 days or a couple of days from the weather that they've been experiencing. Debris field located near Williamsburg County in search for missing F-35 fighter jet. Officials confirm. So they only found some of it. Exasperate. So is that no, I don't think that's the word. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, that one. Exacerbate. Yeah, so whatever that word means. But debris field located near Williamsburg County in search for missing F-35 fighter jet, officials confirmed. They didn't find the whole jet. They didn't find the whole plane. They did tell people not to go next to it. Don't touch it. And don't get any of the revenue or remnants on your clothes. I just want you to ask what kind of fighter jet would that be that it would be radioactive? They basically just told you that it's radioactive. Everybody understands that basically they just told you that jet was radioactive. Yep, no, I believe you, Serena. I believe you. I believe you. Do you think AI could be behind it? No, I think they're going through a cyber war right now. I think we are in the beginning of the world war. Like the fact that you have all these earthquakes that are taking place and they're consistently inconsistent in California, to Alaska, all the way down to Argentina, somebody's forcing that hand. And then if you look at that the amount of earthquakes that are being reported from Russia and China and where they're being reported, some really big military bases in those areas, then we could kind of pinpoint that these are not accidental, if you will. And good morning, Jade. The U.S. Navy has for the first time dispatched 2 of its medium-sized unmanned prototype vessels to Yokosuka Naval Base as it prepares to increase both the number and use of multi-domain drones in the Indo-Pacific region amid growing tensions with China. Formerly known as unmanned surface vessels, the autonomous Mariner and Ranger arrived at Yokosuka, home to the U.S. 7th Fleet, on Monday as part of a long-range deployment that began last month at their home port just north of Los Angeles. So I guess the one thing I never thought about was that the F-35 fighter jet, every time it was reported, somebody ejected from it. In fact, the only time that you really did hear about it is when somebody was flying it and then they ejected from it and it ended up somewhere else. Unmanned vessels, fighter jets, and equipment is the new trend. Getting something done, like think about our drones that we were sending, our switchblades. Just think about our unmanned material and automatic weapons that we've been sending to Ukraine, but also that we've been using in drone strikes in Syria. Those are so people less casualties. When they're unmanned, it's less casualties. But to see if it works, you would have to like see if it works in a serious situation, and that would be a serious situation that would not get it shot down. So you would fly it over the Americas or your ally nations to see how they would respond. Yeah. Ex NFL, which is the National Football League star, Sergio Brown tracked to Mexico as he continues to post bizarre videos after mother is murdered. Sergio Brown has posted Instagram videos after his mother Myrtle was found dead in Maywood Creek and he went missing. So the videos are pretty disturbing and they're on TikTok. I do send a trigger warning out into the universe for anybody that goes through his videos. Apparently his mother was brutally murdered and then he went on the run, and they are predicting that he might have made it to Mexico. But the videos that he's putting up, he's singing Finding Nemo, he's singing about Dory, like it's kind of actually kind of scary. So I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. He's talking real crazy, but you never know. Oh damn, yeah, fam, literally, you are correct. Mexico's presidente defends allowing Russian troops to take part in the Independence Day parade. All the governments with which Mexico has relations with were invited. It's always been done, says Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Jorge Antonio Rocha. That's who wrote it. That's who wrote the article, and that's where I got it from. For anybody and everybody that missed it, the United States of America is very upset about the presence of China, Iran, and Russia inside of Mexico. However, Mexico came out, and their response had to formulate kind of along the same response as Nelson Mandela when he came here, which was interesting. Just because they currently are your enemy doesn't make them my enemy. The people who support our struggles are the people that are our friends, and that's the same thing that the Mexican president said. Since Russia started its invasion of Ukraine more than a year ago, the U.S. has been imposing sanctions on Russia to degrade Moscow's current and future military capabilities, and right on its borders with Mexico as it's marked its 213th independence anniversary. So that's what they were doing it for, was the parade Mexico was holding of its independence. For anybody and everybody that missed it, Mexico had better relationships with Texas as a country than it does with the United States as a nation. If you want to have a crazy person, go ahead, I guess. Facts found. Several leading singers announced that they are canceling their participation in the 80th birthday concert with singer Ariel Zilver after he publicly expressed support and donated money to a Jewish extremist convicted of killing 3 members of the Palestinian family. Shalom Hanak and Aviv Geffen both announced they were pulling out of the concert, while Arkady Dushin tells Yannette he is also considering withdrawing. So in 2019, there was a man in Israel that went on he said, he was Jewish, Shabbat Shalom, and he said, I want to unalive Palestinians. And he went out and killed 3 people. There were a bunch of people that were Jewish extremists that said, yeah, this is great. It was horrible. It was horrible. No matter what you think about it, it was horrible. But now there were famous people, specifically this singer, Zilber. He came out of nowhere and said, I support what that man had did. When I say these are all, I hate repeating myself because you're probably like, Kazi, you sound like a broken record. When this broken record comes true and then you all hot and heavy because it's chaos, don't say nothing to me, fam. Don't say nothing to me. But Israel going to war is a problematic situation. And Israel currently showing extremism that doesn't align with the story that they conveyed about the Jewish community shows that the Jewish community also had some participation within forms of slavery, which is very, 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 very important. To unbunk all of that and unlearn would go straight back to the Holy Bible. And I don't think some people are ready to have that conversation. Love you guys. Okay, Cohen says possibly Saudi deal will open ties with other Muslim countries. Facts. Speaking in New York, foreign minister tells Jewish leaders that Saudi-Israel agreement will symbolize reconciliation between the Jewish people and the Muslim world. It will never happen. It will never happen because right now Iran is currently eyeing Palestine. They're coming to save Palestine. They're going to make sure Palestine is woke. Israel is doing some gangster shit to Palestine. It won't happen. We're talking about splitting Israel into two. So, in his address to the UN General Assembly annual debate, President Yoon, which is the president of South Korea, referred to Russian President Vladimir Putin's recent visit to the DPRK. That's the Republic of Korea. That's North Korea. And underscored that any deal struck between those two countries will threaten the peace and security of not only Ukraine but also the Republic of Korea. It is paradoxical, he said, that Russia, a permanent member of the UN Security Council, entrusted as the ultimate guardian of world peace, would wage war. I'm stuttering because this is actually the rhetoric that was taking place before the Korean War. Would wage war by invading another sovereign nation and receive arms and ammunition from a regime that blatantly violates the UN Security Council resolutions. We're going to read that one more time because that's a very, 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 very... Right, Petra. Ricky, want to catch you, Ricky? A permanent member of the UN Security Council, entrusted as the ultimate guardian of world peace, would wage war by invading another sovereign nation and receive arms and ammunition from a regime that blatantly violates the UN Security Council resolutions. So is that not what the United States of America is doing in Haiti? Is that not what we were doing in Afghanistan? Remember, Afghanistan wasn't a situation of us versus them. It was them versus them in a hidden shadow. Isn't the United States of America a permanent member of the UN Security Council that's not supposed to be waging war? There were two 6.0 earthquakes in the Central East Pacific rise, literally back-to-back 30 seconds within each other. And then there was a 5.7 all taking place yesterday. The East Pacific rise is outside of Costa Rica, all the way debajo de Venezuela. And it's important, es muy importante, okay, to remember that currently the Ring of Fire is on fire. So Cali, if you end up getting that big-ass earthquake that's supposed to be predicted for Indonesia or Japan, you know, the one from 2004 and 2011, which I find ironic of the timing because the last one that took place was before that in the 60s. During OPEC. Near New Zealand. Of the Kermadec Islands. The Kermadec Islands currently right now are ranging earthquakes between the size of 4.5 to a 6.7. So, Cali, I really want us to be on the same page of preparation is key per. Can everybody put a 1 in the comment section if we got our news? Make sure you regard the first part of your news. It's 2 videos because Patreon was trying to be funny and they tried to get the news from me. I don't know what the fuck Patreon was on today, but they tried to delete it. I was like on time, finally, and they tried to do me dirty. So you're probably like, what do you want me to do with this news class? I'm so sick and tired of this shit every single day. Well, so here's the 2 things that I need you to do. A, every time I come here with the news, and every time I come here with this information, the first thing that you should be asking yourself is, am I ready? If we had our lights turned off tomorrow, do I have an emergency plan to be able to take care of myself and am I self-sustainable? If the lights went out tomorrow and the bank shut down, do I have a secondary plan in order for me to be able to obtain my funds or to protect my funds? Right? I'm not telling you to buy real estate because I currently need you to spend money. I'm telling you to buy real estate because if you pay into anything else, you're currently going to be looking at a debt situation of Uncle Sam. Put a yes or no in the comment section if you are aware. Your student loans started back up in September. Actually, September 1st. Nobody said shit. Boy, I wonder if that would even if that would expedite the process into a Great Recession or a Great Depression. Because we already hit the Great Recession. The Great Recession took place in 2008. True story. We're already there. Chile. Okay? The reason why I'm not sitting here worried about it because we are on the same page. Y'all thought I wasn't about to show up. And guess what? I showed up. So guess what? Now we got to hold each other accountable and go over this damn material. You feel me? So I have something to ask of y'all. I have something to ask of y'all indeed. Two things. If you have your bug out bag, you need to make sure that you are in the accountability and mobilization chat of Discord. And I want you to put, yes, I have Bob. Whoever puts that will be requested into the breakout rooms. Whoever is requested into the breakout rooms will be held accountable of your training. Your training will be within holistic health. Holistic health is financial wealth, that is physical wealth, that is mental wealth, that is social wealth, that's environmental wealth, that's all wealth. That's all wealth. So if you don't know how to garden, if you don't know how to plant, I'm about to find out. If you currently don't know the areas of the law that I currently have been putting up to you, I'm about to find out. In the next 30 days, I'm about to identify everybody that's been given resources and didn't put them to work. Put amen in the comment section if we all on the same page. I'll be damned. It's one thing to have an area of education. It's another thing to have an area of a community. Those no longer can be the same. Those no longer can be the same. Your emails are packed with information and things that you are supposed to be downloading onto your devices so that if this shit went blank, you would still have those materials. If you are in any tier above the $4 tier and on the $4 tier, you have so much education within the K through 6 material that if you're not literally, if you download those PDFs, you have worksheets for years to teach you and your family. If another COVID pandemic were to take place, you have K through 12 material to get you through that pandemic. Y'all don't have to take and miss a beat of education. That would be crazy. Does that make sense? Serena, even if you're starting out, a bug out bag is having a bag with a supply in it. I didn't ask what supply was in it. I didn't ask where that supply was. I didn't ask if you currently needed that supply. I said we need to get started. I will provide the materials, but we need to work together. It is self-paced. Baby, ain't nobody clocking you or how ready you are. But to know what our community is about is something important, and we got to check that every couple of months. It's one thing to provide an education. It's another thing to provide a solution. Your business course will let you know. We found an area. Shit. Stop playing. I found a property with over 13 acres of land for $690. That's all you need to know. Remember when I said you literally just have to watch the markets? A house in the United States of America costs $690. I found a property that can hold over 50 people in a very secluded area in the States for $690. Yeah, they getting ready. They're getting ready. They're getting ready. They're getting ready. They're getting ready. It might or might not be in the States. So that's all you need to know. But what I will say now is it's pretty much game time at this point. So while you're on TikTok, I'm telling every single person here, if you are on TikTok, which you are because that's where you found me, hi, you better be creating as much as you are consuming. I need y'all to be putting material out there to help people, especially if you're in my community. It's one thing to be a consumer, it's another thing to be a thinker. So if you haven't started those businesses or those ideas, or you're not recording your hobby, or you currently are trying to hold yourself accountable of certain routines, like put it on recording and put it out there. I need you to get into the habit of not only using your voice, but also knowing how to teach. I need you to feel comfortable in stepping outside of your comfort zone, because I tell you something, in the time period of crisis, everything is unpredictable. You don't have conventionality. That's not, yeah, it's not conventional. It's not, it's no longer rules of engagement. There's no way of life. We either create the way of life that we're looking for, or we don't. And I mean that yesterday. So we're going to be going over all of your materials. I've already started going over it. Literally, we went over 10 of your amendments within your Constitution in less than 2 seconds. So we're going to be flying through this material pretty fast, pretty fast. We need to go over what foods are in the seasons. I'm going to put that list up today, so we're on it. Thoughts don't change things, actions do. Every day, Mary. Every day. So much love. I see blankets, but could make clothing and other things too. Can you help me? Can you help me after the news? I can help you with whatever I can possibly help you with, Loretta. Of course, family. But whatever we need, you just got to submit to me. If you need more information or anything, just make sure you go through your email to make sure it's not already there. But if it's already there, then we can do that. But that was the confirmation I've been contemplating over. Thanks for holding me accountable, fam. You got it, fam. And listen, I'll be very clear. I don't mind making areas and discords for us to hold each other accountable. There's an accountability area for fitness. I can make an accountability area for business. And I'm only, listen, there's 93 people on here, so I'm just about to tell you what it is. My goal with Patreon is to create over 1,000 investors. And I don't mean investors of different projects, I mean business owners. It's one thing to teach a million people their constitutional rights. It's another thing to teach an entire environment how to correlate their or correspond to their own democracy. Patreon is an environment where you guys talk to each other, you decide with each other, you negotiate with each other, and you learn from each other. And that was supposed to be the way of life. But now it needs to become a real manifested area. If shit hits the fan and something happens, there will be a group of people in Patreon that not only has land, but also has an area of safety. Can everybody put a 1 in the comments if that makes sense? That's why there's an area that I hold down. If there is an area where people need to go through foraging or food or security, there are a group of people on Patreon that are not only FBI, they're law enforcement, and some are even higher security clearance that I'm not allowed to say. If a situation happens where 2/3 of the population currently is going against each other, you have multiple different countries of interest that we can go to if we need to, and multiple different areas that we need to escape to. There is a reason why I'm looking at all 50 states. Most people will only focus on what they care about, but if you're supposed to be a leader of a country, you better know how to get in and out of it. If Texas goes up in flames, Texas will send a back call to Florida. Florida will send a back call to Oklahoma. Oklahoma will send a back call to South Carolina. And the southern states will reenact as if they were the Confederacy again. I don't mean racially, I mean economically. And that's where everybody kind of loses those momentums. Aw, so much love, fam. Yes, but my Discord wouldn't let me see anything. Hey, William. So, if we need an educational platform, you guys have a bunch of teachers, there's a bunch of mothers, you have a bunch of theology. That is why we are going over the basics of life. So here's what this would look like, right? This is why everybody would need their bug out bags. This is why the situation would be a situation. Let's say on October 1st, your government shuts down, which I think is pretty ironic. I don't give a damn what nobody says. I think it's very ironic that your government has a planned shutdown 4 days before we're supposed to have one of the biggest broadcast tests in this country. Nobody picked that up. So let's hypothetically say that situation took place, and then on October 4th at 2:20 or 11:20 a.m., a 30-minute emergency broadcast system went off nationwide. Let's say during a practice situation, somebody, because they displayed it on TV, they told everyone what time period it would be happening. Boy, I wonder if, and I pray to God my enemies are dumb as shit, but wouldn't it be ironic if while everyone was taking the opportunity of practicing an emergency evacuation, somebody actually did some ballsy shit? When you told the public it's just a test, somebody in Mexico outside of Alaska or in those areas said, fuck what you heard. Excuse my French, but let's be real. Okay, so if I did it that way, fam, then does Kaz have her bug out bags on deck? Yes. Do I have a bug out plan on deck? I can literally walk from North Carolina to Lubbock, Texas. That's what my map has. I can literally walk from North Carolina to Lubbock, Texas. There are people who do these walks every single year, walking marathons from California to North Carolina. Please put a 1 in the comment section if we understand. Even though it seems so dumb, all of the information I've thrown at you nonstop, if you put it together in one world picture, oh my goodness, you have the blueprint to life. If all of these things went goodbye, you could survive on your own. And by survival, it's not surviving. You could literally start your own community. We told you about secondary things to get outside of cars. We've told you about secondary things to get outside of batteries. We've told you about secondary things to stay on solar. So, I mean, yeah. So, in the next 4 months, we have an area of redemption. Can everybody put redemption in the comment section? We need to redeem if we currently are the community we say we are. And in order to do that, it needs to be fun. In order to do that, it needs to be wonky. But in order to do that, it also needs to be a bit serious. There's people that pay for a $1 tier, and there's people that pay for a $3 tier just to receive information. The ones that are above that, you're not paying for information. That's a lifestyle. And even though it's 9 or 15 or 25 or 35 or $297 for the business course, it's a lifestyle. It's a very cheap lifestyle, but it's a lifestyle you can monetize and optimize to the best of your ability. Does that make sense? Because I promise, there's 103 of you guys on here. If there is an election, it will be one wonky election. It's crazy how we need to realistically consider these things that might be in the near future. Well, what's actually crazy about it is that we become desensitized to it. If anything, it would be the most normal thing for us to predict it because of the time frame that it's taking place. All of the world wars have happened in the last 100 years. All of the riots, racism, that's been like the last couple of 100 years. Like, remember, racism didn't control slavery, classism did. All of this shit is recent. This is recent. Somebody took a new recent playbook and made this new thing. So, in fact, to be completely honest, I guess the reason why I'm talking to you about it every day is because I'm trying to normalize it. It should have been something that was normalized a long time ago. We should have been taught. When you don't teach kids about their having bug out bags, it's so that they can rely on the government. They're not teaching you about bug out bags because they're building FEMA camps. Put a 1 in the comment section if we're all on the same page. They don't give you your constitution, so you don't know how to protect yourself. That's why they can control law enforcement. How much easier would it be if everybody used $30 to build a bug out bag? You would lose money as the Federal Emergency Management Agency that has the potential to make the most money right now. Remember, your government wanted to assassinate John F. Kennedy because of him going back to the gold standard and not being able to attack Cuba. This is that time period. Mexico fucked up. Mexico messed up. They should have never put that on TV. I don't care what nobody says. But Mexico just told us that they're in our backyard. So it's not about if, it's just about when. And unless your federal government stops sending weapons to a country that they're actively fighting and stop supporting, outside of the one China principle, listen, we literally, it's not if, it's when. We are actively doing things that are impeding and infringing on the diplomacy of other countries. And it's the diplomacy of other countries within the UN Security Council. So, yeah. Can everybody put a 1 in the comment section now if we understand what time we're working on? I'm about to start throwing material at you, so don't get mad. I will say, I'm going to try to figure this out first. I now know that I can upload videos the way that I did on Discord. So if you're on the $15 tier, please make sure you are checking your Discords. I'm about to upload some language stuff, and I kind of want to see if it's conducive or productive to the way that you are learning. The way that I'm about to attack these language courses are no longer in a way of teaching you the basics. We're going for straight phrases. So if you hear something along these lines, or if you hear these words and you can break them down, that's what the fuck we're going for. If anybody needs to get deeper, deeper, deeper in these languages, stay into those chats. And we'll dive into it, okay? But it looks like we just need to move and groove. I don't trust your president. I've never trusted your government, but I at this point I don't trust your neighbor on ignorance as well. A lot of people are suffering right now. A lot of people are broke right now. A lot of people are hungry right now, and a lot of people are ignorant to why that is currently happening. So I just want to make sure we are good to go, but you are also good to go. So again, in the accountability mobilization area, if you would like to be in the breakout rooms where that is actually our mobilization team, I'm going to create an entirely different Discord for that team. I want to make sure that you have the opportunity of showing us the initiation. If you do not have your bug out bag, I would not be going to the breakout rooms. Can everybody put a 1 in the comment section? That is a liability. If I have to look for you and provide for you, that is not us. That is not us building a community of safety. Everyone will have a place and everybody will have a skill set, and you do. But we need to make sure that we are not being liabilities. Okay? This is my favorite community in the entire world. You have no idea. So just like I'm holding you guys accountable, I'm going to hold myself accountable. I've got some things working in the works for you guys to expedite this process and people for you to talk to. And with the mics and all that stuff coming in, we should have a few podcasts coming straight to Patreon. I can record them on Patreon, so it's just for Patreon. So please look forward to those. It's about buying process. It's about money. It's about credit. It's about politics. We're just going to have a bunch of people on here. So I love you to the moon and back. Can I take my family? I have 2 little girls and a husband who is a chef. If you have your bug out bags and your family has their bug out bags, it's our entire community. I'm not teaching you what I know so that I can take care of you. I'm teaching you so if there's something that you missed or something that I missed, we can watch each other 6. In the next couple of months, when I start doing meet and greets, that's the plan. Does that make sense to everybody? Go ahead and put a yes or no in the comment section. This has been in like the mix for like a year, so the idea is to optimize our skill sets the best way that we can, and we can't optimize them without knowing what they are. So, I'm gonna resubmit the fitness requirements of the regimen when you guys put that in the group chat, okay? All right, I love you guys to the moon and back. Go ahead and review the material for the previous video and now for today's news. I've got more videos coming for you right now for just Patreon today, but we are good to go. Make sure you drink enough water today, get some food in your stomach, and just count your blessings, please. It doesn't have to be a religious connotation to that, just in general. Gratitude is the #1 key to success. All right? I'll see you guys in a little bit.